Classification of nuclear power. The use of nuclear power in space is more than simply one of several power options. The choice of nuclear power can make deep space missions possible and much more efficient. For example, a comparison between a typical chemical propulsion mission to Mars and one using nuclear propulsion, owing to the mass ratio efficiencies and the larger specific impulse. The chemically powered mission took a planned total of 919 D, provided a stay of 454 D on the planet. By comparison, a nuclear power mission was completed in 870 days, while it provided 550 days on the planet. The outward bound return journeys took 30% less time in the map of possibilities involving time and a variety of payloads. Nuclear power wins most of the time. The prospects for using nuclear propulsion in space is are determined by their advantages over conventional solar photo, photovoltaic and other power sources, including independence of the distance to the sun and orientation with respect to the sun, compactness. A 10 MW solar array will require solar panels that cover an area of 68,000 meters square at the distance of Mars and 760,000 meters square at Jupiter, and their size would render them impracticable. Better mass and size parameters when used on unmanned spacecraft, beginning with a power level of several tens of kilowatts. The capacity of providing a to two power level 2 to 3 times greater with that nuclear propulsion system, mass dependent relatively weakly on the power improvement, resistance to the Earth's radiation belts, the possibility of combining nuclear power with electrical thrusters to give the highest efficiency of specific impulse for thrust and of building power propulsion systems on this basis to allow launch of payload masses 2 to 3 times greater than those possible with conventional chemical propellant. Orbital boosters. Orbital boosters. This can be achieved while supplying 50 to 100 kilowatt of electrical power and more for onboard instrumentation over periods of 10 years or more. The experience accumulated in developing space MPSs, electrical thrusters, and neurothermal propulsion systems could, in the future enable a number of quantitatively new exploration missions, such as round-the-clock all-weather radar surveillance and global telecommunication systems, including global systems for communication with moving objects. In the future, space, MPS, and combined nuclear power propulsion systems, and PPS with an electrical power level of several hundred kilowatts will enable such long-term space missions as global environmental monitoring, production at facilities in space, supply of power for lunar and Martian missions, and others. As a measure of power needs in space, a space shuttle consumes about 50 kilowatts in orbit, while the International Space Station uses 75 kilowatts. Estimates for a Mars habitable range from 20 to 60 kilowatts, not including propulsion. A baseline Mars mission will require about 10 MW, but higher power means faster transportation. Thus, a 200 MW engine would theoretically reach Mars in 39 days. Such power is only available through advanced NPSs. Thank you, and I'll see you on the next.